Boomers have no clue about current reality. My grandpa is such an example. I need to make a little follow up to my previous video. Look, of course, boomers, your parents, Gen X, they all have just the best in their mind for you as their child. Unless, of course, they have some ego problem with what you are doing, and so they try to mold you and push you in a certain direction that is not really your core truth. My mother used to annoy me that I don't have a job, and she would pull me down instead of seeing my potential and just understand where I am currently in my development development journey. Other people my age, they are much more open. I tell them what I'm going through. They're like, yeah, I see, and probably this and that is how you will go on. I see your potential. But then you talk to your parents, and instead of helping you, they pull you down. I think this is the problem with many parents and families, and I hope that in the future there will be more awareness and people learn proper parenthood in all the right ways. I mean, my mother also used to always criticize me for being weird and awkward, which was also not a great help. Even though ultimately, I guess it pushed me into higher forms of perfection. But also especially my grandpa. Every time he is annoying me that, yeah, my life among students will soon be over and I will not have anything and it's embarrassing and awkward, and who will I be to those people if I have nothing to show, if I don't have a job? As if this is all that matters. Status above everything else, transactional relations, this is what they believe in. And he was completely disregarding all that I did, all my achievements. I did a double academical degree. I was studying and it was the most hard thing, and I still did it, and I did it even though I had no clear outlook, what will I do later. I did it out of fear that I will end up having to struggle with jobs that I don't like, and so I just wanted to stay in the student's life and live in the students' dormitories, which I did for many years, and it was the greatest fun of my life. And I met so many people, and this is what pushed me to study, even though I didn't even like what I was studying. I started with economy with the mindset of getting the most money out of it, because previously I wanted to be pilot. It would be great to fly a passenger plane, but now I'm too old and I'm not going to change my entire trajectory of what I'm doing again. Back then I decided not to do it because I would have to go to another city and I would not be with my friends, and they all wanted to study at the university, and this is why I decided to do the same. I thought with economy I can do it even though it's boring. I don't know, maybe it was the wrong mindset, because I also was programmed by the idea that this is just a path, with that you can reach a high salary. I was also thinking about law, but I heard how many people are struggling and getting psychological issues because the mental stress is too hard and the competition is too hard. So I decided to do something easier. I went for economy with the best intentions in mind, but I realized it's not really my thing, but I just pushed through. Then I tried to do the masters. It did not work out because they did the exams even more difficult with even more slides that you have to learn, as if this is somehow cool and makes you learn even more. The only thing I thought this makes me develop is basically like show off to the outer world that I'm capable of achieving something, but nothing other than that. So it was like a signal function. But I ended up doing marketing science for my master's. I previously avoided doing marketing and focusing on this area because I already heard that from all the economical niche jobs, marketing is the one where you get least money. But since I'm a creative person and economy, the normal one, became too dry, at some point I had no other choice than going into marketing, even though I also heard that this job market is overrun, there are too many people, and so it will be hard to get a job. But as someone who is living in the moment and who is a free spirit, I just did it anyway because it was the path of least resistance, not optimal, but the best that I could find at this point. Then I found directly a job at the startup. It was fine for a while, And I thought, wow, this can really be something. The company had potential and it felt cool to be there, sitting there in the highest level of the highest building, or one of the highest buildings of the university, at the science park where the startup is located. And it was like an oval office where we had meetings and stuff, and you feel kind of important and special. But the salary was bad, and I ended up losing the job because it was also not fulfilling, and the working conditions were bad, and the atmosphere was toxic. And then I got money from the government in the time of unemployment, and they gave me opportunity for different courses where I developed Photoshop ability and Adobe Creative Cloud skills and stuff which I already liked before, video cutting as well. And then I had other courses to make social media stuff and online marketing strategies, but it was all still not really the right thing. Social media I would have considered, but in reality, when you work for companies, they have such strict ideas of how you have to do everything, and everything has to be to the pixel, in the right position, the logo and the right colors, and they're doing such a unnecessary overhead of expectations which are completely not necessary, and they just starve your own creativity, and you basically turn into a wheel of the system, and they slowly kill your soul, so to speak. But then I found this insurance job that I will now get, insurance consultant, which is working on his own behalf and is helping people save money and stuff. And I will now start a course soon, and then this will be my job, and I have super flexibility, no 9 to 5, and get higher salary than average. This is what I truly believe in. I manifested this through prayers to God and through creating such a sigil, the biggest sigil in my room, which is hanging at my wall, and subconsciously every day reminds me and programs me to achieve the dream job. But my grandpa doesn't understand any of this. He is a boomer, from boomer generation. He thinks everything is so easy and so practical. My grandma as well. Already during studying, they were all the time annoying me, telling me, yeah, you have to also work while studying so that you get practical experience. And look what I did. I didn't do it, I refused it, and then still I directly found my first job at the startup. No problem. Then I got my experience. But they wanted me to do the double effort at the same time, studying and also working, as if I don't have a life. As if I grew up, now I'm not a child, so my life is over, and now it's just hustle and grind. A bit also, this is what many retainers do. Like, this is also their stoic mindset. They reject love, they're like, I just need to create a business or whatever, and I need to grow as a man, and later I can have love. That's all BS. You can live while you live. This is the purpose of life. Enjoy your life while it lasts. Don't just push back and think that you can do all the good stuff later in life. Do it now. You can do it at the same time. So now I think I found the perfect job opportunity. And my grandpa, he never understood this. He thought I'm just lazy. Like my mother and my grandma, they all thought I'm just lazy only because I was in a self-finding process. Completely not fair. And on top of that, my grandpa told me I should just do something completely else and suddenly study IT. It's like a small IT course because IT is so important and everything will be digitized. And then I have an IT job. And in the system, he is such a doomer. He believes in conspiracies and Freemasons and the new agenda 2030 and stuff. And he's like, yeah, in the future, the elites are super ruling and they will get rid of all the people that are not achieving something as part of the system. So it is now more important than ever to be a very high functional wheel and create something that is important for the system. And therefore, IT is the way. And I always hated it because I did not do IT. Okay, my startup had to do with IT, so there was some gravitational pull, and I am kind of interested in IT. I like talking with my hacker friend about IT a lot. But this is not my way. I did not want to throw away my entire path so far as a soul. I'm a strong believer in that everything that you always do as a soul, your entire life, it leads to something. you are not going in the wrong direction. You are not for 10 plus years doing something only to realize it was completely not the right thing. I think your soul knows exactly in what ways it wants to grow and that there is a way forward. And this is what my grandpa does not understand. He wanted me to completely go in another direction and stop with the economy and marketing because I have no results. But that's exactly wrong. Because I was talking to these people that reached out to me on LinkedIn who want to give me this opportunity with the insurance consultation, and I asked them why you wrote to me exactly. And they said, yeah, because you already have a background in economy and marketing, and we already know that those people have potential in this area and some understanding and can grow in this area. So they would not reach out to someone who was just having some construction worker's job. And that's exactly the point. Nothing of all the things I did was unnecessary. I had my detours here and there, but even the detours energetically align with what I'm doing now. When I say detours, I'm talking about the courses that I did while I was unemployed that further developed my creative abilities. Honestly, I can use them to create even better videos. And other than that, the courses also energetically primed me towards this final course that I'm now planning to do in another area, in the insurance consultation area, because courses are always made in the same way. You have your online courses, you can do them flexibly, you see videos, you have some online tests and so on. So it's still energetically the same thing, even though the courses are about something else.